First, let me introduce myself. My name is Crystal and I am 38 years old and been a single mother for the last 8 years, but that is another story. I have a daughter called Becky and she is 16 years old and at college. I also have a son Raymond who is 15 years old, but still at school. We live in a small village just outside Derby, in Derbyshire. We have a steady income, so money is not a problem for us. Well, to continue, Becky, my daughter, has loads of friends, girls and boys, nothing serious, just friends. She has always been a good mixer and a good friend to me and other people. Raymond, my son, on the other hand, has very few friends, maybe 2 male friends and about 3 friends, who are girls. He never mixes with other people. It is as if he is very shy, but that's not it. He's more of a lone wolf type, if anything. Well, one day Becky came up to me and asked if she could speak to me in private. I of course said, yes. She began by saying, "Mom, I don't know how to say this, and I'm not blaming anyone personally, but my things in my drawers keep disappearing and then reappearing again, and things are put back in the wrong place." I said to her, how long this had been going on for. She replied, about 2 months now. It's been getting quite regular, but it's been going on for a while before that. It was only small things first, nothing major, but recently it's becoming quite regular and the items of clothing have been getting bigger. It was my dress last week. It was hung up all wrong, as if the person didn't know how to hang a dress up properly. I think it may be one of Raymond's friends, but I don't want to accuse anybody without proof. What can I do? I told her, leave it with me and I will think about it. To be honest, I wasn't even sure what to do or where to start. So I slept on it. The next morning, as I started to think about it, my first thoughts were that it may have been one of the boys, getting his thrills, with her stuff, but the more I thought about them, as I knew them all well, it didn't fit or even sound right, so I left them alone for the minute. My next thought were the girls, but again I knew their families as well as the girls, and I knew that if any of the girls wanted anything, their parents would buy it for them, with no problem, or Becky would have lent it to them willingly. I was puzzled. Who or why would anybody be doing this? I was totally stumped. The following week I was at the hairdresser's, and by luck or chance, I started reading a letter from a mother who had found out that her son liked dressing up in women's clothes, and she was totally distraught over it. I read it right through, twice. I then began to wonder, could Raymond be the same? I thought it over to myself and said no, that would be silly. He's not gay, but the other boy in the magazine wasn't gay neither. But of course, the more I thought about it, the more I started to get angrier and angrier. He was a boy, why would he want to be a woman or dress up as one? It was no use, I had to find out, and woe betide him if it was him. I left the salon and phoned Becky, come and meet me at the coffee shop, now. I have to talk to you. When Becky arrived, we sat down and I just blurted it out, Becky, I think it's your brother Raymond who's been at your clothes, and I showed her the magazine. She went red in the face. If that little sissy has been wearing my clothes, I will murder him, she said. Look, I'm not sure, but some things are starting to add up, I said. You're not the only one to have items of clothes misplaced. The other week I lost a pair of my stockings, and when they were returned one had a ladder in it and was inside out. I hate to think it's him. I mean, Raymond is sissy, what would everyone think? What can we do then to find out if it's Raymond or not? Becky said. Well, I have thought about this a lot since reading the magazine, and what we are going to do is place a micro video camera in his room, like those nanny cams you can get. Then we will tell him that we are going out for the day, say shopping. When we come back, we can see if anything has happened. If it hasn't, then there is no problem, and we can look elsewhere. If it is Raymond, then you and I will teach him a lesson that he will never forget. What do you think, Becky? A brilliant idea, Mom. Then we can be sure one way or the other. The following week I said to Becky in front of Raymond, Becky, do you fancy coming out shopping tomorrow? We can make a day of it and have some lunch out as well. Will that be all right with you, Raymond? You can make yourself a snack if you want to, can't you? Raymond replied, of course I can, Mom. You and Becky go out and have a nice time. I've got things here I want to do. Just have a nice day. The next morning about 9:30, I called Becky down saying, "Are you ready, Becky? Because if so, we want to be out early to make a day of it." So Becky and I went out. The first thing I did was to say to Becky, "I've set up the video in Raymond's bedroom and one in your room. It should last about 8 hours, so we can take our time shopping." It was about 3 hours later that we had a break. As we were sitting down eating our lunch, Becky said to me, "Mom, what if it's Raymond? What shall we do?" I replied, "I've been thinking about this, and if it's agreeable to you, this is what we will do. Because if he wants to dress like a girl, then with his 6-week summer holiday coming up, he can stay dressed as a girl for the whole 6 weeks, that's day and night, and I mean no jeans or trousers, no jumpers, nothing at all to cover up the girl's clothes that he will be wearing." Becky asked, "What are you going to get him to wear then, Mom?" "Everything a girl wears, from panties to dresses to bras, stockings, make up the lot, and I will be taking him down to the hairdresser's to have his hair permed and cut like a girl's and his nails shaped and his eyebrows plucked, so there is no mistake what sex he is." Becky laughs, "I really hope it is him, Mom. I know I shouldn't, but it would be so much fun to have a younger sister." Well, when we came home from shopping, everything seemed normal. Raymond was on his computer. I said to him, "Well, how was your day? Did you do anything interesting while we were out?" He just replied, "No, I just played some computer games." I smiled and went upstairs. I went to my wardrobe where I had hid the recorder and took the disc out. Shouting downstairs, I called to Becky to come on up, saying out loud so Raymond could hear, "Come on, Becky, I want us to try our new clothes on." "Coming, Mom," she replied. We went into her bedroom and put the disc on. We fast-forwarded until we saw something happening. We watched in complete silence and fascination as we watched Raymond come into Becky's room, go to her drawers and bring out a pair of frilly pink panties, then a matching pink bra. He even did his bra up at the back, like he had been doing it for years. Then he went into my bedroom and got out suspender belt and stockings, then one of my white frilly short petticoats. He went back to Becky's room and went to her wardrobe where he got out a blue dress with a back zip and a pair of matching shoes. What stunned us the most was that he put it all on in such a professional manner, no hesitation doing anything including zipping himself up at the back in the dress. He then back-combed his hair to make it more feminine, then for the next 2 hours he just acted like a normal girl. It was frightening, shocking, and we could not understand why he was doing this. We put the disc safe and just looked at each other. We just did not know what to say. The next morning I got on the computer and found out about what was happening to him. Did he want to become a girl or what? I spoke to Becky later that day, and we spoke very frankly about it to each other. We realized that he only did it when he wanted to, and when he had enough, he stopped. Therefore, we decided that if he was made to dress and be treated 24 hours a day as a girl for a while, maybe it might stop him. It was his 6-week break in 2 weeks, so we decided to start then, and we would make it last the whole 6 weeks. He would be dressed and treated like a girl for the whole time. However, we had a lot to do before then, and it must be done without Raymond knowing, so we made our plan. Our first step was to go to our local cheap clothing store, whose name I won't mention, and get several complete sets of underwear for her, including petticoats, stockings and girdles with suspenders for her stockings and to hide her extra bits away, matching panties and bras. We made sure that all of his underwear was as girly and frilly as possible. Next we bought her several knee-length skirts and frilly blouses, again as girly as we could, then 1 or 2 nice tight short dresses, and 4 pairs of high-heeled shoes, ranging from 3-inch to 5-inch. We decided to have a break then, as shopping for a different person is quite hard, especially as it was a boy who wears girls' clothes we were shopping for. As we were drinking our coffee, we both admitted that we were enjoying shopping for Raymond, and we kept imagining what he would look like, let alone what he would say. As we were talking, we realized that we could not call him Raymond. When he was dressed, we thought long and hard and came up with a really girly name for him, which she would be called as from now, and the name was Candice. What a sweet name, we thought, and we can call her Candy for short. After we arrived home, we left all the clothes in the car, so there was no chance of them being found. I said to Raymond when he came down from his room, "Hi Raymond, did you keep yourself busy while we were out?" He replied, "Yes, I just played on my games, usual stuff." I nearly replied, "Yes, we do know what you've been doing, Raymond." Later, I was sitting in bed reading when my mind started to drift off about what we were going to make Raymond do this summer, and I will admit I could not getting to see him dressed as a girl out of my mind. I kept thinking how nice it would be to have two girls in the house, and what we could do together. I suddenly realized what I was thinking about, turning him to a girl. And I was starting to enjoy the idea. The following 2 weeks went by like a flash. It was the evening before Raymond broke up from school and Candice took over. Becky and I sat down and ran over what we were going to do, and how we were going to do it. We were both quite excited about it all. It was so unreal, and we were acting like a couple of schoolgirls. We were going to wait until Raymond was at school, then go to his bedroom and collect all of his male clothes and shoes, and put them in black bags and put them in the loft. Then, telling him that we had been to the tip with them, we were going to take down all of his male posters, replacing them with very girly ones. We would change his bed clothes from his normal plain ones to pretty pink ones. All his girly clothes would be put away in his drawers, and his skirts, dresses, and blouses would be hung up in the wardrobe. All his makeup, perfume, etc. and hair stuff would be put out on his dressing table top, and last but not least his pink frilly nightly and matching dressing gown, his nighttime panties and pink fluffy slippers were laid on his bed, ready for him. We had even had a bedroom door sign done all in pink with flowers with Candice's room in the middle of it. We glued that to the front of his bedroom door. After all of that, we went downstairs, put the disc in the player, had a nice cup of coffee and waited in anticipation. It was about 4 o'clock when Raymond came in. As the front door opened, I shouted to him, "Raymond, before you do anything I want you to come into the lounge." He said, "Let me take my stuff upstairs first, Mom, then I'll come down." I quickly shouted, "You will come here now, this instant, do you understand?" "Okay," he said with a grunt. As he came into the lounge, he saw Becky sitting beside me. Both of us had a very serious look on our faces. He looked at us and slightly blushed. I could guess what his first thought was, that he had been found out. Boy, was he right. I told him to sit down in the chair so that he was facing Becky and myself. I said to him, "Is there anything you wish to say to us or tell us, Raymond?" He gave us a "I don't know what you're talking about" look. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Nothing." "Okay then, Becky, please press play for me." "Sure, Mom," she replied. Well, his face, Becky and I could not stop looking at his expressions. They ranged from anger to embarrassment, whilst his face was going redder and redder. When the disc had finished, I looked at him and said, "Well, my boy, or should I say girl, what's the meaning of this? Do you want to be a girl, or do you just like dressing as one when you feel like it?" All he could do was mumble something, saying sorry. Becky looked at him straight in the eyes and said, "If you wanted to dress in our clothes, you could have at least asked us, then we could have washed them before we wore them again. You've made us so mad." We got a sorry out of him several times. He just did not know what to do or say, so I intervened. "Becky and I have thought and talked about this for quite a while now, and we have decided for all that you have been doing, for all the clothes you have worn, both Becky's and mine, you are going to be severely punished." His face now went white as a sheet. I carried on, "Since you like dressing up as a girl, then for the rest of the summer holidays, you will dress and act and be treated as a girl. You will answer to the name of Candice." He started to protest, saying, "What will my friends say when they see me all dressed up?" I replied, smiling, "They will properly say how pretty you are. Now, Candice, go upstairs to your room and take off all, and I mean all of your old male clothes, and get into the shower. When you have finished, Becky will have laid out the clothes you are going to wear for the rest of the day. All right, and don't forget we have that disc with you on it all dressed up, so any trouble or backchat from you and it goes straight on Facebook to all of your friends, and I bet they will love it. Do you understand, Candice?" He replied, "Yes, Mom." I said, "You will call me Mummy from now on, Candice, just like Becky does. Right off you go, girls, and do what you have to do." I followed Candice upstairs to the bathroom and waited outside, calling out to him, her. "I want all of your clothes as you take them off, Candice. You have a big towel in there, so you can wrap it around your body before you go into your bedroom. When you get out of the bath, don't forget to put your deodorant on. It's the pink one, it's called Lilies, and your body spray is called Flowers of the Night. When you have finished, go to your bedroom and we will both come up to you. Do you understand, Candice?" She replied, "Yes, Mummy." I left her a pair of pink panties and a blush-colored silky wraparound dressing gown to put on before she came into the bedroom. When she arrived in, we both said, "Oh, Candice, you look lovely, so girly, in fact you will look quite cute in your nightie." I then said, "Right, now let us get down to everything. As your punishment, as I said, you will dress and act like a girl for 6 weeks. If you look in your drawers and wardrobe, you will find only girls' clothes and shoes. Every morning you will get up by 8:00, shower, and put your smellies on. You will then go to your room and put the following on: bra, matching panties, girdle to hide boys' extra bits as you don't need them because you're a girl, stockings, petticoat, skirt and blouse or dress, shoes. Then call Becky up, and she will show you how to do your makeup and hair. You will do this every day. If we go out you will go as Candice Raymond is no more for 6 weeks. If you want a magazine to read, it will be a girl's one. You will learn to cook, you will learn to clean, you will learn everything a girl should know. Do you understand, Candice?" With tears in her eyes she nodded and said, "Yes, Mummy." Gee, I never realized how good a girl she looks. I just stood there looking at my second daughter. Then I said, "I see now why you liked dressing up, Candy. You look like a beautiful girl. I'm so proud of you. You look lovely." I almost had tears in my eyes. "Right," I said, "we are going out now to get your hair done." Candy looked petrified. "I've never been out of the house before dressed up," she said. "What do you mean dressed up? These are your normal clothes now, and no one will ever recognize you. You look that passable. Now put your coat on and grab your bag, you have an appointment to keep." We entered the hairdresser's. It went to the desk. I said, "This is Candy. She wants something done with her hair to make it more pretty and feminine, something that will stay in for a good while." Candy looked at me with pleading eyes, and I just smiled back. The young lady Christine, who was seeing to us, said, "Something with a heavy perm in it, that should last at least 5 weeks if not more." I replied, "That would be fine. I will leave her with you, and I will let you make all the decisions for her, as it's her first trip to the hairdresser's. Oh, and can she have a manicure as well? I think a nice deep red nail varnish to finish it all off." "Well then I will leave her in your capable hands, Christine. See you in about 2 hours, Candy." We then left. About 2 hours later we came back and Christine was just finishing Candy's hair. Well, we would not have believed it unless we had seen it with our own eyes. Candy looked every inch a real pretty girl. As Christine showed Candy her hair in the mirror, I saw her really smile, that smile of content. I asked Christine how it had gone. She replied, "Oh, she was wonderful. She helped me pick out the style she wanted and asked so many questions about how to keep it nice and what shampoo and conditioner she should use. It was a real pleasure." I told her to come back in 4 weeks to keep it as she wants it. "Will that be all right?" I was so taken aback I just said, "That will be fine," and had her booked in. The next 2 or 3 weeks went by as if I was having a dream. Instead of being a punishment for him, she was taking over. Raymond was becoming more and more like Candice every day. She was learning to cook, wash and iron clothes, so she was taking to it as if it was second nature to her. I called Becky into my room one night while Candy was having a bath. I said to her, "What's happening, Becky?" to Candice. I realized even I was now referring to her as Candice. "Well, Mom," she said, "Candy is becoming more and more of a sister to me than ever. We talk about everything, including boys. As sisters we just get on so well, it's unbelievable. I never expected for this to happen. She's learned to do her own makeup, her hair, in fact everything a girl learns to do naturally. She's totally at home being a girl. I think she may be living her dream. What do you think, Mom?" I said, "If I was honest, these past weeks have been fun. We have all been shopping together, out to restaurants and more, all together, and I've been really proud of having my 2 daughters with me. I think very soon the 3 of us have to sit down and have a serious talk about everything, okay?" The next Friday we were all sitting in the lounge when Becky asked, "Mom, there's a disco in the next village hall tomorrow night. Can I please go? You can drop me off and pick me up if you want." "Who are you going with?" I asked. "No one, just me." I said to her, "You are not going alone anywhere, Becky. It's not safe for a girl to go alone anywhere this day and age. Can't you find another girl to go with you?" She replied, "There's no one else who wants to go, and who is going I don't want to go with." I looked at Becky and she looked at me. I raised my eyebrows and looked at Candy, who was reading the Woman magazine. "Would you let her, Mom?" I said, I think I could trust you to look after her, could I? Yes, she said, you can I ask her now? If she says yes, then you had better go and find some nice clothes for you both. Becky nudged Candy and said to her, would you like to come to the next village's disco with me tomorrow, Candy? Mom says you can if you want to, it will be great fun, we will have a smashing time, and Mom said that she would drop us off and pick us up, so there's no worry there. Well, what do you say, will you come, please? The look on Candy's face was a joy to watch. She said, you really want me to come with you, as your sister, you and me going to the disco together, are you sure, you know what I mean? I would love my sister to come with me. You could see a tear in Candy's eyes. Thank you, Becky, thank you so much, you don't know what this means to me, and thank you, Mummy, for letting us go as sisters. The next day they both spent hours deciding what to wear, so their clothes complemented each other as well as themselves. At about 6 p.m. they were ready to go, and they both looked beautiful, so we went to the car and drove off. As we were driving along, I said to both of them, now remember, girls, stick together, no wandering off to the bushes or anywhere else. They both looked at each other and laughed. Becky told me later that they both had a great time, and they both had been asked to dance by different boys, and Candy had said yes every time, even to the slow ones. She said, Mom, she was so natural, so at ease, all I could see was Candy, no one else. She even kissed a boy goodnight, and I don't mean a peck on the cheek, she was acting like a natural girl would. It was the 5th week now, and I was passing Candy's bedroom door, when I heard quiet sobbing coming from inside. I opened the door quietly and peeked inside. Candy had the pillow over her face, breaking her heart. I went and sat down beside her and, cuddling her, asked what was up. She sobbed as she said, Mummy, I don't want to go back to being a boy anymore, I've always wanted to be a girl, and the last few weeks have been the happiest of my life. Mummy, I don't know what to do, I love being Becky's sister and being your daughter more than you will ever know. I'm so sorry, Mummy, I really am. I just kept cuddling her and I said, Candy, I have loved you being my daughter, and Becky has loved you being her sister. If you really want to become a girl, we will all go, that includes Becky, and see the doctors so we can sort out what you have to do. Is that all right with you, my lovely daughter? Becky had been at the door listening and came over to us. She put her arms around Candy and me, and said, welcome, little sister. Then we all began to cry.